Okay, it's a Friday. We're in end of August. I've been shooting bows, started to think about deer a little bit, and wanted to make kind of a fun video about my 3 favorite current bows. Now, I've got a lot of bows. I've been very fortunate, but right now I'm just really tickled to death with the bows I've chosen to basically use this year hunting. Depends on what I'm doing, and I just wanted to kind of go through them. Thought it would be something interesting and fun, and a little of the reasons why. The first is a MOSSTROOPER from Border Archery in Scotland. This is a 60-inch, 50-pound MOSSTROOPER. The reason I like it is, simply put, to me, the pinnacle of the art of being a bower is in the one-piece bow, whether it be a longbow or a recurve. This bow features old-world craftsmanship, meaning the construction is beautiful and flawless, but then it also has the sick, twisted Hex 8 or Hex 7.5, whatever variant the latest MOSSTROOPER's carrying. I'm not quite sure. But the point is, it combines old world craftsmanship with modern look at getting more performance out of a bow. And we all know that big hooks have been around since the dawn of time in horn bows, so it kind of brings that all back. So just a really neat, it's the pinnacle of the art, I think. I love one-piece recurves. I did a lot of hunting with one-piece recurves, always loved them. I love the way they carry, and this is the bow this year that I'll use when I'm probably doing drives, because I'll be on the ground crawling through thickets and everything. This is just a simple bow. It's got a quickie quiver on it. Scott Tessner covered it in Cape Buffalo from a bull I shot years ago in Tanzania. It's got sealskin rest and side plate. Just a phenomenal, really neat bow. Chad did the string. It's D97. It's got the small limb savers on it. It's quiet. It's quick. Just a really neat bow. Next is, of course, my Border CH. This is the bow that'll get probably the most use this year in all my hunting. This is the same 17-inch riser. That's probably why it's one of my favorite bows. I've been shooting a CH riser for going on almost 5 years now, I think. I've had the phenolic carbon one for, I think, 4, probably about 3 or 4, at least 4. So I've shot many variants of these limbs on this riser. So this riser is just something that works for me. I love the way it feels. It's a phenolic and carbon CH riser. This is the latest and greatest Hex 8 limbs in Sid's, what I would call it, Vietnam era style camo. They're kind of bright, but it'll work. I love them. It gives the bow just a wild, crazy look. And again, this is this is my all-time favorite hunting bow. And this is the bow that I choose to shoot, and what I'll probably do most of my stand hunting and local hunting with. But last but certainly not least, and a real trip for me, because I do not like longbows. I haven't had a longbow in my collection since I had a Monarch. It was like 72 pounds at my draw. It was crazy. That's probably one of the only longbows I ever really held on to, and I eventually sold that just because I knew I'd never shoot it. Omega Bows. Kegan McCabe has made this bow called the Native. This was one of the first natives that was phenolic, and he did a killer job. And what takes me back is I'm not a longbow shooter, but this bow feels to me like a recurve. It's the biggest feeling little bow I've ever seen. It's super snappy, super quick. I actually just got it back from Kegan. He's a great boyer. When I saw him at Denton, I was lucky to shoot and spend time with him, and he is literally a world-class shooter, and certainly one of the finest boyers that I've had the pleasure to call a friend. And everybody knows how much I like Kegan, but I would never say I like someone's work. I can say I like the man, and I certainly do, but the guy's work is super impressive. I'm used to really good kit, and this bow is as good as any bow I've ever owned. It is a wonderful bow. The phenolic makes it dense and heavy. Probably the reason I like it so much is it feels like a recurve to me. When I'm drawing this back, if I had my eyes shut, I couldn't tell it was a 56-inch hybrid. And I'm just blown away by the bow. It's a great bow from a great young boyer. Again, I've got a quickie quiver on it, black leather, sealskin and calf hair side plate. and little thumper. I got little tiny limb savers on it. People freak out longbows with limb savers, but I like them. Just a really great little bow. I just got it back, like I was mentioning. All my border bows, which I primarily have been shooting, are very center shot. So when I first got this bow, it was shooting to the left for me a little bit. And Kegan was a gracious boyer and took it back at Denton, gave me a little bit more center shot. It was 50 pounds. Now he's dropped it to 48 pounds, I believe. It's shooting where I can shoot all three of these bows. Well, I'm gonna do so in a second, we'll see. I can shoot all three of these bows and they're relatively shooting to the same spot for me, which is super important if you're gonna try to hunt with a bunch of different bows. Max just came crashing up with his Frisbee. Max loves to play Frisbee, but he won't let go, ever. You let go? You let go? You let go? What we use on Max is a break stick. He'll let go as soon as he sees the break stick. They like to play Frisbee. So I'm gonna wipe the dog slobber off my hands, and then I will shoot all three bows, 3 arrows, just so you can hear them and just basically see them shoot. Easy, 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 easy. Did you ever see two dogs? I don't know if you can see them. Look how hyped they are for stuff. All right, let me get a finger tab on. Hold on, babies. On video. Okay, I'm back. I was getting robbed by my 13-year-old daughter. So, first one up, MOSSTROOPER, D97 string from Chad. All these bows have D97 strings on from Chad. Chad is champion strings, and he does a fantastic job. He's been making my strings for a lot of years. Does a great job. So first one up is the MOSSTROOPER, 500 grain arrow, 225. Really nice shooting recurve, really is. The second is Old Faithful, my Covert Hunter, with the latest Hex 8s. 500 grain arrow, 225 up front again. That bow is 50 pounds, so this bow is 48 pounds. Ooh. Right in the heart. That was a good one. Got lucky. Last but certainly not least, my Omega Native. So those are my 3 favorite bows for this year. Let's walk up to the target. Let me get this off. Hold on. Max is literally freaking out about his Frisbee. Hold on. We're shooting this on a Movi. I don't know if you guys know what a Movi is. A Movi is a gimbal, a stabilizer, that you use to hook a iPhone into, or another type of phone, and you get this awesome, I can move it around. Right now I'm like hovering around. You get this awesome gimbal setup where it basically makes the whole camera float. So very cool. So as you can see, I mean, not the greatest group, but not bad for picking up 3 different bows and getting tuned up. Love the bows. I love Max. I love Lady. Look at my baby sitting there. Max wants you to take his Frisbee. He's obsessed with it. Okay, we'll try to get it. He doesn't like that. Look at him. He will not let go. We do this and he ends up breaking my fingers. Ouch. We don't teach him out. When he grabs on stuff, we want him to stay on. Thanks for looking. Okay, just a little recap. One common trait all these bows have, if you look at them, is they are short bows. Now here's the oddness about that. I hate short bows. In conventional recurves, I don't like a 58-inch recurve. So for me to be able to pick up these bows, so look, this is a 60-inch MOSSTROOPER, there's Max. This is a 56-inch native from Omega. Now when they're strung, they're probably about the same, I'd say they take about the same amount of space. But the weird thing is, I don't like shooting short bows. The one common trait all these bows have is they all feel like longer bows. So just to recap, the MOSSTROOPER, phenolic, carbon, they're, I guess it's midnight, it's an impregnated wood also, it's in here. Carbon fiber, of course, limbs. The core on this is wood. What you've got is a light, super powerful, compact little one-piece recurve, pinnacle of the art. The native, I wanted to show all these bows unstrung so you can see their natural, how they naturally lie. Feels like a much longer bow, super smooth, never stacks. I've seen guys with 31-inch draws pulling these little 56-inch bows back with no problem, like Kegan himself. Just a phenomenal little bow that feels like a big bow. This grip is a big full grip. It really does feel, here, it really does fill the hand. And it gives it a big bow feel for me. And again, I just love it. It's a little demon bow. Go for it. Go for it. Hold on. Let go, buddy. Let go. Okay. And last but least, oh, there it is. Wrong bow. The mighty Covert Hunter. This is the hexate limb on this bow, and it is just a freaky limb. This is the lightest bow here, and it's by far the most powerful. This bow actually, like I said, loses weight at the end stroke. It's a revolutionary bow, and it is one of the most wicked bows I've ever had the pleasure of shooting. This one is my phenolic carbon Shedua, Cape Buffalo horn cap. The MOSSTROOPER also has a Cape Buffalo horn cap. Just great stuff. Ready? Man, I like the way I can use them in tree stands, blinds, on the ground. I like a compact bow when I'm hunting. I don't like a long bow, but I don't like my bows to feel like a short bow. And the common theme that all these bows have is they're short bows, short compact hunting bows that feel like longer bows. Truly, truly great stuff. Thanks for looking. Kegan, McCabe, all the folks at Border Archery. There's my daughter's little Mini Cooper. I had to paint the entire hood for her because that's what daughters do. Here, 3 favorite bows for the year. Thanks for looking. Border Archery of Scotland, Omega bows. Some of the best kit I've ever had the pleasure of using. Thank you. Bye-bye.